Hello everybody. I think I'd probably better start by explaining why I'm wearing a rather elegant, I think, Indonesian batik shirt. I was at a showcase this morning at Phoenix in Bond Street of a Indonesian fashion event which the British Council has been working on with Jakarta Fashion Week, so hence my somewhat exotic garb. It's not some strange costume for a Shakespeare play. I'm here in the reception area at Spring Gardens, our gallery, where we've just unveiled the most extraordinary exhibition of how Shakespeare is seen by us and by the world on the anniversary, 400th anniversary, which falls this weekend on April the 23rd. I'm standing in front of this chart, amazing chart, which shows all the Shakespeare work, or some of the Shakespeare work that's going on around the world with our partners, the Great Campaign, the Globe, the RSC, a lot of local partners overseas, and a huge number of partners in the UK. Over there, if we can pan round, we have Shakespeare Lives in film and some shorts that have been curated and filmed by us around different parts of Shakespeare, but done in a very contemporary way. It's a very dynamic way of looking at Shakespeare. And the whole tenor of the work we're doing in Shakespeare is around his relevance as a playwright, as a thinker, as a person who understood the world, its society, its politics, its evils, its good things, and what are those relevances today. And we're also examining how we use Shakespeare as a tool for teaching English as well. There's a part of the exhibition there which talks about why do we use Shakespeare to teach English? Well, partly the fact that he invented 1,500 words or so that are now part of the basic English language currently used. As part of the year, we've commissioned some research about how Shakespeare is seen and how he's influenced different parts of the world. And it shows an enormous number of countries where Shakespeare is seen as a major contemporary influence on society through his plays. Of course, when he's seen overseas, they're translated often into a much more contemporary language, which is easier to understand than in English. And that possibly explains why some of the Shakespeare approval ratings overseas are higher than those in English-speaking countries, where all of those of us who've been taught English at school, taught Shakespeare at school, realize that, you know, we have to deal with the complexities of the original language, but it's worth it. Down here in the other part of the show, you can see sections on how we're using Shakespeare in our schools program, and an extraordinary timeline of how Shakespeare has been central to the British Council program since our founding in 1934, including some really extraordinary events around the time of the outbreak of the Second World War, where unbelievably we toured Sir Anthony Quayle and Alec Guinness to Egypt, Greece and Italy on the outbreak of war with Henry V and Hamlet, and some other extraordinary events in the near 80-year timeline. And then over here, a whole section on Shakespeare in film. We're doing a major partnership with the BFI, the British Film Institute, allied also to co-curating a digital showcase which will be available for 6 months of an extraordinary range of new and old Shakespeare related material with the BBC, and that will be all online. And you can find out everything through our hashtag Shakespeare Lives, and also take part in our hashtag Play Your Part, where you can upload your own favourite line of Shakespeare. And one of the most interesting parts of this exhibition, and do come along and see it, it's on for several months here in an open every day except Sunday, this extraordinary section which deals with some cross-cultural references to Shakespeare, Shakespearean career, Shakespeare through the eyes of young Omanis in the Gulf, and also an extraordinarily inspiring version of Shakespeare called A Different Romeo and Juliet, worked at with Jenny Seeley of Grey Eye Theatre and a wonderful cast of disabled actors in Bangladesh. So an extraordinary range of work, digital, different societies, international, different languages, virtually everything you can think of. And it spans the entirety of our British Council portfolio across our English, exams, education, society and the arts. So I do hope you will find some way of intersecting with the programme wherever you are in the UK or overseas, and also maybe joining us here in Spring Gardens at some point to have a look at this extraordinary exhibition. Have a wonderful Shakespeare Anniversary Day on the 23rd and enjoy Shakespeare for the rest of your lives and certainly for the rest of his anniversary year in 2016.